Hello, everyone. Ryan Devon with the Devon team at Keller Williams. I hope you are having a fantastic week and heading right into the weekend here. Wanted to get you the weekly market update just to let you know what is going on. I've got good stats to show you, good numbers for you to take a look at. There are starting to see some really strong trends that we're starting to follow right now, and it's exactly what we want to be seeing. So things are pointing in the right direction for sure amidst all the chaos and the craziness of everything that's going on right now. So I'm going to get into those numbers. But in the meantime, if you want to get really specific on your own home and where you're sitting with your values and what's happening specifically at the price point where your home is valued at, let's just have a quick discussion around that. I can tell you things with regards to the values, peaks, best time to hit the market, what's really happening at those price points, and I'd love to be that resource for you. So give me a call when you can. My number is 303-579-9428, and let's dig in to the numbers to tell you really what's going on out there. Dig into the numbers here. So again, we're going to first start off, as we always do, talking about inventory. That means homes that are actually on the market right now and what we've seen in the past. So again, the one thing to remember is that what we consider a balanced market, meaning that the equity is not really going down on homes, but prices aren't really going down. You kind of hit this equilibrium spot. That's the position where you could transition from a seller's market to a buyer's market. So that is defined as having 6 months worth of inventory on the market, meaning for every buyer that is out there right now looking for a home, they would have 6 to pick from. As you can see from the past, we've obviously been well below this, and this has been for quite some time now. Anything that's below 1 usually means you're going to find yourself in a potential multiple offer situation. So right now, let's take a look back again, pre-COVID, so before all the restrictions and regulations were in place. Again, we're calling this kind of the peak. We had seen this inventory being right here, just under 1 month worth of inventory on the market. So as soon as restrictions and things started coming in terms of showing abilities, these numbers obviously crept up. They got the highest up here on these weeks when you could see when we weren't really allowed to show properties anymore. But check this out. Taking a look at last week's data here, our number has dropped down drastically, back to 0.9 months worth of inventory. Again, this means for every buyer that's in the market, they have less than 1 home to pick from. This puts us right back into where we were pre-COVID again, which is very encouraging. On top of that, the really fun thing to actually see here, because we're trying to say, well, how do we get back to somewhat of a normal life with dealing with COVID, obviously. But check this out. Pending. So pendings mean a home that went under contract. So if we look right here from last week, so this week to last week, pendings, meaning homes going under contract, went up 13%. But the biggest thing to see is this: from the peak, from where we were before all the COVID restrictions, we had more homes go under contract last week than we did during what we're calling our peak. Definitely encouraging numbers to take a look at. So you say, well, okay, people are going to say, well, is the market going to collapse? Is it a bubble? We hear that all the time, that people are going to say, well, we base this on supply and demand. So if there's not enough supply and the demand is high, obviously you keep in a strong seller's market. And so what we're seeing is this. Last week, we had 6,228 homes on the market in the Denver metro area. In order for us to hit that balance of a 6-month market, kind of meaning where everything is flat, we would need to have 40,000 homes on the market right now. We are a far cry away from that happening right now. So again, encouraging numbers to see. If things were not to get better, if things were to continue to deteriorate, how long would we have before we could find ourselves in that transitional period where we could go to market equilibrium and potentially go from a seller's market to a buyer's market? Well, based on the demand and what's currently going under contract as of last week, we'd have 122 days that we could withstand the current conditions before that transitions. Again, let's look back at pre-COVID. We're right in that same ballpark of where we were before COVID. So again, very encouraging numbers to see here. So let's take a look at showings. So these mean people who are out booking showings and going and seeing homes. So last week, there were 20,556 showings that were booked last week. Going back to our peak again, looks like about 28 1,000 showings were booked. So again, we are in line. We are below that because we do have more showing restrictions than we did here. There are more things we have to do now in order to show homes, but still, that's an encouraging number to see. What that means is for every home that's on the market, they should have seen about 3.3 showings last week in terms of people coming and actually touring their homes. And the big number is this: how many showings does it take to get an offer on the home? Well, based again on our numbers, looking at last week of 20,000 showings and 1,542 homes went under contract, that means each home that's on the market takes them about 13.3 showings in order to see a contract on their home. Going back to the peak over here, you could see it was taking about 19 showings in order to get a contract on the home. Again, these are all very encouraging stats to see. The trend is definitely moving in the right direction to show that we are somewhat getting back to where we were before COVID hit. That being said, I will continue to track this on a weekly basis and report it to you. That way you can really understand what's going on. And if you want to go into this in more detail and specifically talk about your specific home and the price point of where your home is at, I do have this broken down into different price categories depending on how, what the value of your home is. So we can talk about that and talk about specific numbers. All right. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Stay safe.